Hey everyone, Coaster Central here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa. This is the best B&M invert coaster I've been on, and it has so many great elements and is a very forceful ride. This is going to be my full in-depth review where I talk about everything there is to know. Before we continue with this video though, please do subscribe as I'm trying to hit 100 and I'd really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into the video. This ride is in the Egyptian themed area and looks great. The main lift hill and first few elements look really imposing and also pretty. The blue and yellow colour scheme may not sound good, but actually looks great and really fits into that theme. The queue line is a massive cattle pen with some pretty good theming, but I didn't really notice as it was a tiny queue when I was going there, so I just walked straight to the station. The restraints were the basic B&M over the shoulder restraints, and they're pretty comfy. They're the same found on Dragon Car, Nemesis, literally every other B&M coaster that goes upside down will have these. This coaster has some pretty impressive stats that I want to talk about before we talk about the layout. It has a height of 150 feet and a max speed of 60 miles per hour. This coaster also has a track length of 3,980 feet. So this coaster has some pretty impressive stats, but obviously stats aren't everything, so let's see how good the layout is. When you exit the station, you take a small turn before climbing up the lift hill. The drop is a slow downwards curve, pretty similar to any other invert of the same style. You do pick up a lot of momentum after a while, however, and head into the first inversion of this ride, a vertical loop. This pulls great G-forces and is very intense, and immediately after, you whip through Immelman, which gives great positives. Can you see a theme here? This coaster is strong on the positives. You snap for a crunchy 0G roll that gives crazy lateral G-forces. You then enter the element that is the highlight of the ride, the Batwing. This element is crazy. It gives great sustained positive G-forces, and you whip around it in such a way where you twist around and then you go down and you get sustained positive G-forces before then getting laterals. It is an unbelievable element and definitely the best on the ride. After the element, you head up into the mid-course brake run. The mid-course doesn't really slow you down, however, you sort of rise up into it and it kills the pacing a little bit, but not so much that it ruins the ride. The second half starts off with a twisting drop into a vertical loop that is just as good as the first. It's much more tight if you're going at it for a much slower speed, so it sort of levels itself out. After a series of twists and turns, you snap for a corkscrew as the final inversion and then twist your way into the brake run. So obviously this ride is crazy and in my top 5, but let's see how it adds up on my 5 different categories. For pacing, this coaster gets an 8 out of 10. It's very fast and speeds through all its elements. The only part that really kills the pacing is the mid-course brake run, which is the only reason why it doesn't get a 10 out of 10. For airtime, this coaster gets a 0 out of 10. No airtime. It's a B&M invert, what were you expecting? For intensity, this coaster gets a 10 out of 10. But it could get an 11 with how intense it is. It has some crazy intense moments, but keeps its intensity all the way through. So the fact that it has some extremely intense moments, but the entirety of the ride is pretty intense, that's what makes this ride elite in the intensity department. For fear factor, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because it does look quite imposing when you enter its plaza area. For the layout, this coaster gets a 9 out of 10. It has a pretty good layout with some fun elements, especially that Batwing is very unique for inverts. There's only a couple others that have that element. For this coaster's final score, it gets a 10 out of 10. It is one of my top 5 coasters, so of course it's going to get a 10. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to leave your opinion on this ride in the comment section below. Also, like and subscribe, because I'm trying to hit 100, and if you sub, you might just get to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.